Welcome back, everyone. Before we dive in, tap like, drop a comment, and subscribe to keep the conversation alive. And if you want to support Secrets Behind the Stars a little extra, the join button is right there. Today's story pulls us into a place where nostalgia collides with fresh sparks and 1,000 new misunderstandings. We are talking about two names that never really left the minds of their audience, Akın Akinozu and Ebru Şahin. For years, they were linked not just by the projects they shared, but by a chemistry so convincing that people swore what they saw on screen couldn't possibly end when the cameras cut. Even after their collaboration ended, the emotional thread fans felt between them never fully unraveled. But lately, everything shifted. A powerful episode from Akın's new series dropped, one packed with intense scenes opposite his new co-star, and social media erupted as if it had been waiting to explode. What began as a routine debate about acting choices and storylines morphed almost instantly into a wave of speculation, the kind that maps out a whole love triangle in the space of a few posts: Akın, the new co-star, and of course, Ebru. The theories spiraled so quickly that Akın's team stepped in with a crisp, firm statement meant to close the door. Akın is doing his job. What happened with Ebru belongs to the past. The message was clear, precise, and designed to draw a line. Yet instead of cooling the flames, it fed them. A few days later, reporters caught Akın as he left a production meeting. They fired off questions the way they always do, and he did what he does best: he stayed calm. He gave them a single, measured response: "I'm working on what I love. Everything else is yesterday's weather." He didn't deny anything. He didn't confirm anything. He didn't explain. And as we've all learned, silence doesn't end speculation, it grows it. The fewer words you offer, the more stories the internet writes for you. Then came the leak that changed the tide again. A behind-the-scenes clip surfaced, grainy, brief, but potent. In it, Akın stood with a script in his hands, focusing, readying himself to dive into a scene. His co-star hovered at his side and gave him a small, almost private smile. Nothing dramatic. Nothing overt. Just a quick smile, faint and soft. Somehow that quiet moment became the internet's next obsession. Fans dissected the video frame by frame, reading posture and eye lines like secret letters. Some insisted the smile revealed true feeling. Others insisted it was ordinary, the natural warmth that happens on any set where long days and shared scenes create easy camaraderie. But it didn't really matter who was right. People were talking. People were invested. And the conversation refused to stop. Meanwhile, Ebru joined the chorus without saying a single name. She posted an Instagram story in moody lighting, just a lyric floating over shadow and glow: "What goes never truly returns." The reaction was immediate and deafening. Was she referring to Akın? Was it about the new series and the storm it stirred? Was it something deeply personal that had nothing to do with anyone we're thinking about? No one could say for certain, but everyone had a theory. Screenshots spread. Threads multiplied. A single line became a mirror, and people projected their hopes and hurts onto it. Soon after, the flame was stoked again by the script itself. In his show, Akın delivered an emotional letter scene that hit viewers like a wave. One line led the surge: "I gave it my all, yet I'm no longer the man I once was." The words exploded across timelines. Fans called it too vulnerable, too specific, too raw to belong only to the character. Their responses were so intense that the writers of the series stepped into the noise with a statement of their own. "The scene is fiction," they said. "It's acting. It isn't aimed at anyone in Akın's history." But once the audience's heart is engaged, official clarifications feel like whispers beside a drum. People do not quote press releases to themselves late at night. They quote the line that made them feel seen. The next day, Ebru added another layer. A sunset photo with a caption as soft as the light: "Certain scars can't be seen, yet they never stop aching." Again, no names, no explanation, no context. And again, thousands of comments poured in. At the same time, someone close to Ebru shared that she was concentrating on rebuilding her emotional well-being. She wanted quiet. She was choosing steadier routines and leaving behind anything that kept her off balance. That single note changed the tone of the conversation. Maybe her posts weren't coded messages. Maybe they were the diary of healing written in public, the way so many artists speak when they can't or won't speak directly. It was a reminder that the stories we spin sometimes obscure the simple truth: people take care of themselves in the ways they know how. Still, the attachment remains. Fans are not just watching two performers. They're watching an emotional world they helped build, frame by frame, episode by episode. That world felt bigger than a set, bigger than a storyline. When viewers saw Akın and Ebru together on screen, they believed in something that felt rare. Losing that illusion was not like turning off a TV. It was like packing away a book you loved mid-chapter, the kind you thought you'd finish one day. So when Akın appears beside someone new, a corner of the audience experiences it like a betrayal, even if it is only the most ordinary truth. Actors work, stories change, partners shift. Behind the curtain, sources close to Akın describe him as respectful of everything that once was, yet determined to face forward. He carries no public bitterness, no public longing. He treats that portion of his life as a chapter concluded. He is absorbed in his work, in the craft that made all of this possible in the first place. And still, the rumors won't rest. Among them, an unverified line attributed to Ebru caught fire. If destiny ever reunites us, it will be because it was written that way. Did she say it? No one can confirm. Does it matter? To those who want to believe, confirmation is optional. They hold the idea like a talisman: love reappears when the timing turns kind. In moments like this, the boundaries between fiction and reality blur in the public square. A plot line in a series becomes a message, a lyric becomes a confession, a smile becomes a vow. But there is another truth running beneath it all. Two artists once found a rhythm together that stirred millions, and that rhythm doesn't entirely die even when the music changes. Echoes linger. The audience hears them in every new performance and wonders, is that just the character, or is that someone I remember? If you look closely at how this unfolded, the pattern is familiar. First, a striking episode set the internet humming. Then a team statement tried to pull the curtain shut. Then a measured response at a car door offered dignity without detail. Then a leak, tiny and irresistible. Then an Instagram lyric that said little but sounded like everything. Then a scene so tender it felt like it came from a private wound, defended by writers who sure as sunrise knew precisely what they were doing. Then a sunset caption, like a hand placed lightly over a chest. Then a friend's quiet update that made all of it seem less like a conversation between two names and more like a journey through one person's heart. As the dust settles, one reality remains. The fans never stopped believing in Akın and Ebru as a pair, not entirely. Even their separate successes can feel, to some, like detours on a map that once promised a shared destination. And when that longing collides with the brisk pace of new work, the result is heat. That is what we are witnessing now. A collision of genuine art and genuine longing in a very public place. It is messy. It is human. It is also inevitable when two people create something that once made millions feel less alone. So where does that leave us? With a question only you can answer. Do you feel the echoes of their past still pulsing in the present, written into every line and glance whether intended or not? Or is it time, finally, to bless what was, honor what it gave, and step forward with them into the new? Maybe it can be both. Maybe the most mature kind of love, whether ours as fans or theirs as people, is the kind that lets memories stay golden without demanding they be repeated. What we do know is this: Akın is steadying his course, focusing on the work and the stories ahead. Ebru appears to be curating her peace, tending to the quiet corners of her life where healing settles in and grows. If they one day find themselves in orbit again, it will either be because a role required it or because life wrote a twist none of us saw coming. Until then, every smile, every lyric, every line will be held up to the light, read and reread by people who care perhaps more than they plan to. Tell us what you think. Are we hearing the aftershocks of an old connection or projecting our own hopes onto two working artists? Share your thoughts in the comments. And before you go, please like, subscribe, and consider tapping join to support Secrets Behind the Stars. Stories like this remind us how powerful on-screen emotion can be, so powerful that years later it still hums beneath the skin. They brought something to life that refuses to fade. Thank you for watching, and stay close for more stories just like this one, because in this world, the real and the real are always a heartbeat apart.